Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, the premier business radio program around. It is the tenacious top of mind topic Tuesday with my man Tom Childrey. Tom, welcome back. Happy New Year. This is the first show of 2022. Welcome back.
Thank you, Mike. It's good to be back, and I'm really excited about this year. I'm just hearing so much buzz out there that people are starting to get excited. They're looking for some positive changes in their lives and their communities, and things that are going on. And people are fighters. Entrepreneurs and business owners are fighters. They didn't, no one falls on the top of the mountain.
No one does. Alrighty, so let's go back and put a wrap up on 2021 from how you see things.
2021, I think there are, we had the election and we had a couple of tourists got out of hand on January 6th. And, they kind of, depending on which side of the coin you're on, it was either, the worst thing that ever happened in the planet, or, so what, I got work to do. So, everybody kind of got over that. Everybody's kind of on their sides, and there's the natural herd healing that went on, where most people are like, I know my friend Mike's a Democrat. I just love him, so I'm going to be all right with him. And other people are like, I'm unfriending him. So you just go on with that. But most of the people are just moving forward. They got their lives, they got their family, their kids, and they're moving forward, and they're trying to figure out how to continue to do that. And it comes down to, we've talked a number of times, it's not how you're going to get through this. It's who do you got to become to get through it? And who do you need to be introduced to? That's one of the great things. That's why I'm a sponsor for the show, because you get people connected that can make a difference in each other's lives.
All right, and Mike King, Tom Childrey is here. As he said, he is a sponsor of the show. We go back some years. It's understanding that business can help society be better. Give people the Tom Childrey elevator pitch before we move on.
Okay, I'm Tom Childrey, the credit card guy with Beyond, and we're a payments company. And we help businesses reduce the cost or eliminate the cost of accepting credit cards and make it as easy as possible for your customers to pay you. And I can be reached by phone or text at 804-503-VISA, like the credit card, 804-503-8472. And I'm Tom, the credit card guy. Quick, easy collect. I'm going to make it easier than you expect.
Mike King, Tom Childrey is here, ESPN Richmond 106.1. This is the tenacious top of mind topic Tuesday. When we went into 2021, what's the biggest takeaway that you saw as we go into 2022 now?
I think what I'm starting to see out there is, people are questioning the official narrative. They're hearing it and they're saying, well, that doesn't make sense. That's not necessarily true from their experience, and we get told things that don't necessarily pan out. So people are a little bit more skeptical of promises. And, so they're building their businesses, but they're not the jaundice eye, but they're looking at things and saying, well, give me more information for that. So, to get in touch with your customers, it may be more than you got to run one Facebook ad. Maybe that they need to see a cumulative of a couple of hours of content from you before they start to really feel comfortable. People aren't just switching, buying cars, doing, any of those big expenditures without doing a little bit of research, because, they want to make sure that they're not getting misled, because a lot of people feel misled, over, depending on what side of the pandemic you're on, So, it's really, people are being optimistically cautious.
Optimistically cautious. Okay. So we are here now. It is the Tenacious Top of Mind Topic Tuesday. Mike King, Tom Childrey here. ESPN Richmond is where we are. Okay, sir. So as salespeople say, some days you're the bug, some days you're the windshield. You say we're going to talk today about, I want to say, going for broke. You're
That's it.
you're either going to be the hunted, either you have boxing gloves on or sneakers. So let's talk about the topic that you find so interesting to lead off 2022.
All right. So, everybody starts the day off running. And, specifically the entrepreneurs and the business owners, managers, professionals. Okay. So everybody starts the day off running, but the majority of people are running away from something. So they're running away from debts. Like, I got to run because I got to make money just to pay these bills. So they're running away from those bills. The bills are chasing them. The other side of the situation is the people that are running after. I'm running after contacts. I'm running after people that I can meet, that I can impact. And the difference is, one is the hunter and one is the prey. And if you look at nature figures that all out. That's why some animals have eyes on the side of their head and other animals have eyes in the front of their head. So you look at a lion and you look at a gazelle. The gazelle got eyes on the side of their head. The lion has eyes on the front of their head. The lion is the hunter. The gazelle is the prey. So they need to be looking over. They're looking, over their shoulder. And as business people, if we're constantly looking over our shoulder, like, oh, can't wait till it gets back to normal. Well, that normal and not coming back. Nothing stays the same. So you have to build moving forward. They change the rules. You have to adapt, conquer, overcome. So, as a business advocate, my role is to help people recognize, where are you in that situation? If you are constantly, you start a business and it's yourself or maybe one or two other employees, and you're constantly fighting for money, you can catch yourself in a situation where really you just have a job and an assistant. Where then you have other people where they leverage, say in the first example, going back. So you got three people, they're like, boss, you got to pay me $15 an hour. So you pay them $15 an hour, but they still can't survive on that because the taxes are going to go up. Inflation's going to eat at that. But you look at somebody else who says, look, let me hire 5 people at $20 an hour and have them produce $60 an hour worth of product, service, and revenue. That's a win-win situation. You by the time you pay for the product, it's $20 out of 60. You pay the employees, they're $20 an hour. You still got 20 left. That's profit. That's for yourself. So you've leveraged that, and that way, where the lion. A lot of times the lion, king of the jungle, but he got other people going out and the lionesses are going out doing the work. He's the boss.
So do you think that can that be a learned mentality for a business owner, or you go in with that idea of being the gazelle? And there are a number of people think that they're the lion.
Till it comes time to do, till it comes time to do what lions have to do.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so is that a learned behavior?
I think it can be. And what the real difference is discipline and what are you willing to give up? In the next 90 days, We got New Year's resolutions. We're at the 10th of the month. So
They're gone already.
80%, yeah, 80% of the people had a New Year's resolution have already broken it. But if you, all kidding aside, if you really looked at it, it takes discipline and routine. There are certain things that if you did it, and it may be slightly different for every occupation, but if you did those certain things like a ritual every single day for the next 90 days, and you just applied yourself to that, and you evaluated it and you made necessary changes. But if you did those things on a consistent basis, in 90 days, you would be a completely different person. You could be completely different because your economic situation changed dramatically because you got more money. You brought more money into your company. It could be that you got in incredible shape and got off of high blood pressure medicine and diabetes medicine and all these other things. So it's that discipline. So yes, it can be learned, but you got to want to learn. It's like when people are smokers, they're not going to quit smoking because somebody told them to. They're going to quit smoking when they decide that it's important enough for them to do it. Like it has to be their idea. So if somebody decides, what, where I am now is, just a starting point for where I want to be at a certain amount of time, and then they put a plan together for that, and they have discipline, because there's going to be days where you don't feel like doing what you said you were going to do. And the difference is you got to do it anyway. It's like in the military, you remember they used to say, embrace the suck, because it's not going to be fun every day. It's just going to be worth it. If the stuff ever hit the fan, you're going to fall back on, your training. So if you didn't put your all into your training, you could become a casualty.
On the mic with Mike, Tom Childrey here. He is the credit card guy. It is part of the Mike King Biz Radio Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1, 5 to 7 a.m. The Choice 105.3. That's every day from 2 to 3, as well as International Business Growth Radio with Donna Cundy, Bill Eastman, taking the information worldwide. Tom Childrey, when did you stop being more of the credit card guy to being a business advocate?
I think, Mike, that it came to me because people kept looking to me as a resource. My customers were asking me, hey, you know a lot of people. Do you know somebody that does this? Hey, do you know somebody that does that? And I had a situation where the guy was a dentist and he was getting married, wanted to know if I knew a travel agent so he could go on his honeymoon. And I did. He's like, then he calls me in a panic. We can't get into the wedding hall because they're having, some kind of problem. Do you know any place we can go? And I knew someplace. So I was just able to connect those people. I don't make any money from that, but I helped my client alleviate stress. So, I'm an advocate where sometimes you need a sounding board. And a lot of times the people that I talk with the most are business owners or entrepreneurs, and they're at the top in their world. Who do you talk to? So sometimes they need an unbiased ear to talk to, and that kind of grew into, being an advocate. And just like why they, people kept nicknaming me the credit card guy, so I ran with it. People kept saying, I appreciate you being my business advocate. So I said, okay, and I enjoy that role because it's helping people, because you never know, somebody calls you and they need help with something. And then, 6 months, a year later, you're talking to them and they're like, man, remember that time I called you? You kept me from quitting. For me, that's rewarding.
So that is the role of a business advocate. How often, and a lot of times you always say it's not what you have to do, And it's not what you know, it's who you know. I'm
That's right.
only on chapter 3 of the book, but you're on chapter 8. You've been through where I am right now. Talk to our listeners about that as we move into 2022 and tied it into the hunter and the gatherer and the hunted idea that you were just talking about.
Right. So the concept is everybody is going to run into an obstacle almost on a daily basis. You're going to run into something. If you're not, then your goals aren't big enough, which is a whole another show that we'll get into. But you're going to run into those obstacles. And a lot of times you'll be, the people that I talk with, entrepreneurs and the business owners, are saying, I'm focused on this. How do I fix this? How do I get around this? How do I resolve this issue? And I try to share with them that it's not so much how, it's who. Who do you need to become to be able to overcome that? So it's not a brick wall, it's a speed bump. And who do you need to be introduced to and have in your contact circle that can help you with this type of problem? And like you said, you might be on chapter 3 and you're running into something like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get over this? And somebody else is on chapter 8 or 10, and they can say, wow, did you try this? Have you tried this? Have you tried this? And that can help you get past that. And then you will have experienced that. And that's the pay it forward. Now somebody helped you, you've grown, and now you have the ability and the responsibility to share that with somebody else in the future that's going to have that problem. Because, when somebody's new in business and they don't know, it's like the challenge with a lot of businesses is, it takes twice as long, costs twice as much to get where you thought you were going to be by this time.
That's true. How can a person, so Tom Childrey is known as the guy who knows the guy. Like you said, to the dentist, he needed, travel plans. To this person, you're that person. How does a person expand their network to make their network more powerful?
I think you have to kind of embrace the give. It's a lot of times in sales and, in business, it's like you're the hunter. So you're the lion and you're, and they're the prey. But at the same time, somebody has to be the farmer. So you may be able to delegate that, but you have that farmer responsibility where you have to plant those seeds with those people, and you got to water it and you got to nurture it. It's like my next door neighbor, bless his heart. He spends so much time making sure every tiny little blade of grass is like the greenest in Richmond, and me, not so much. But, it depends, what you're trying to accomplish. And if you want to stay in, you want to build your contact sphere, you have to stay in touch with them, and that could be, 3 or 4 times a year, sending them an email, saying, hey, your name just came across my desk and made me smile. Hope you're doing good. If you're open to it, let's grab a quick Zoom meeting, and just catch up with people. Say, Mike, what's going on in your world? Anything I can do to help? What's your biggest challenge? And they'll tell you something and say, okay, in addition to that, what's your biggest challenge? Okay, they'll tell you something. And then, the third one is, aside from that, really, what's your biggest challenge? Then they'll tell you, okay, well, this is what it really is. It's like you ask somebody, hey, how are you doing? They're, oh, yeah, I'm doing great. Where really it's like, well, I got this problem. I need to get tires for one of my work trucks and I can't afford new tires and I don't know what to do. Oh, well, I've got, 8 used tire stores. Let me introduce you to them. You tell them what size and whatever you need, and they'll find out what they are, and they can get them for a fraction of the price. And that can get you till you can buy new tires. So you never know, it's like everybody, me, you, everybody is fighting a battle in their head that nobody else knows about.
All right.
Sometimes
Mike King, Tom Childrey here. I want to jump into a couple of areas that I know you have some insight into. Give our listeners what they mean to you and how important they are. If I say B and I, talk about it.
Okay. The thing with BNI, Richmond's a big small town, and it's really about relationships. So when you join BNI, the truck with the beep beep sound isn't going to pull up in your driveway and dump referrals into your front yard. Referrals are earned because these people know, like, and trust you, and that takes time. Okay. And it takes dedication. So, if you can build that level of relationship, you can get all the introductions you want. If you put a wish list together, me, you, anybody, okay, put a wish list together of 100 people that you would like to meet in Richmond. Go on LinkedIn, wherever, put a list of 100 names together, their name of their company, their website or whatever. And I would be willing to bet you that you could sit down with 4 or 5 people that are already in your network of people that and they could introduce you to all 100 of those. They just don't all know that you want to be introduced to them.
Okay. Let us know what's happening with the Colonial Heights Petersburg Chamber and our man John Brandt, who's coming back to radio.
Yes,
He
sir.
is coming back to radio. We'd like to thank our good friends over at Poplar Springs Hospital for helping make that happen. New and exciting down at the chamber in Petersburg.
Okay, down in the Tri-Cities area, it's a booming area that's really growing and coming back. And we're launching a business success initiative to help businesses down there make sure that they're getting the ability to build their network, to share their story and get that out to attract new customers, meet community leaders like Kim Taylor just got elected. She's sharp as they come. Really happy to have her down there, and just make sure that people are informed on things that are available that are going to impact their business. Tax changes, regulations, like the whole mandate thing.
Okay.
Find out about those things and, get connected. Who do you need to meet? Who are the people that you need to meet to help you get to the next level, and just develop solid relationships that can impact your business.
All right. The Chesterfield Chamber.
Yeah. Chesterfield Chamber, we're doing a similar thing. The Chamber, Chesterfield is a little bit larger area. And we're doing a business success initiative in Chesterfield in conjunction with the Chamber to encourage people to embrace their Chesterfield Chamber, whether you're a member yet or not. It's still your chamber because it's your Chesterfield County. That's your community. That's where you live. And the things that impact your life are discussed at the chamber. And I would encourage businesses, if you'd like to visit either of the chambers, Chesterfield Chamber's lunch is this Wednesday. Colonial Heights is next Tuesday. Feel free to reach out to me, 804-503 Visa, which is 804-503-8472. And I'll be happy to have you come as my guest, and just see the impact for yourself. I mean, just as an example, where else can you go and meet 150 other business professionals in one setting?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, that is the perfect place. Mike King, Tom Childrey is here one last time. How can people find you, man?
Okay, again, I'm Tom Childrey, the credit card guy with Beyond. We're a payments company. I can be reached best phone or text, area code 804-503 Visa, like the credit card, 804-503-8472. And again, I'm Tom Childrey, the credit card guy. Quick, easy collect. I make it easier than you expect.
Mike King, Tom Childrey, I'd like to thank you for being a show sponsor. We're going on some years now, man. I really appreciate it. People don't realize last year, because of what you do and how we work it, we gave away more than 19,000 minutes of free airtime to nonprofits and businesses to tell their story. And I tell people the only way I'm able to do it is because of folks like you. So thanks, man. Appreciate it. Kudos to you. Ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen,
sir.
this has been Tom Childrey with the Tenacious Top of Mind Topic Tuesday. You see how this rolls off, man? Am I good
You're
or
good.
what?
You're good. You got skills.
A year into it, finally. All right, man. Take care. Ladies
All
and
right, my
gentlemen,
friend.
Tom Childrey, we're
Thank you for
out.
having me. I appreciate it very much.
Take out now. See ya.